You're standing at the airport, an aircraft taxis past. Your brain does a double take. Wait, are those propellers on backwards? The propellers are spinning at the back, not at the front. There's a tiny wing sticking out of the nose. The main wing looks mounted in the wrong place. Everything about this plane screams engineering mistake. Then it takes off and accelerates past 460 miles per hour. On propellers, that's faster than many actual jets. This is the Piaggio Avanti, the Italian aircraft that looks like someone assembled it in reverse. The plane that makes engineers ask, wait, why does this even work? Here's what's absolutely insane. Every single thing that looks wrong is actually genius-level engineering. The backwards propellers? More efficient than the normal ones. The weird front wing? Creates extra lift. That jet-like body? Cuts the drag in half. Have you ever seen one of these bizarre planes in real life? Drop yes in the comments because you witnessed one of aviation's most misunderstood masterpieces. Subscribe to Skyline Secrets right now because we're breaking down the aerodynamic secrets and the backwards engineering that actually makes this plane faster than jets. Hit that button, this gets wild. Let's start with the most obvious weirdness. The propellers are on backwards. Every propeller plane you've ever seen has the propellers at the front pulling the aircraft through the air. The Cessna 172, the King Air, the Dash 8, propellers always go in the front. That's how it's been done for over a century. The Piaggio Avanti puts them at the back. This is called a pusher configuration. Your first instinct? That's backwards. That can't work. But here's the truth. It's brilliant engineering. Let me explain with a simple experiment. Hold your hand flat and move it through the air. Feel that smooth flow over your palm? That's laminar flow, clean air. Now spin your hand in circles while moving it forward. Feel the turbulent, chaotic air behind it? That's what the propellers do to the air. In the conventional aircraft with tractor propellers at the front, those propellers chop the air into a turbulent mess. Then the entire aircraft, the wings, the fuselage, the tail, flies through that disturbed air. It's like swimming through the choppy water. The Avanti flips this completely backwards. The clean fuselage and the wings cut through the smooth air first. The propellers push from behind, working with the air that's already been organized. Less turbulence, more efficiency, higher speeds. But there's something even more brilliant happening here. In the conventional tractor propeller configuration, the propeller tips approach the speed of sound at high cruise speeds, creating shock waves and drag. The Avanti's pusher propellers work with the air that's already been slowed by the wings and the nacelles. The propeller tips can turn faster without going supersonic, more efficient operation at the jet-like speeds. The result? The Avanti cruises at 460 miles per hour while burning 40% less fuel than the comparable jets. Quick question, if you could redesign any aircraft with the pusher propellers, which one would you choose? Drop your answer below. Now let's talk about something truly bizarre. The Avanti has 3 wings. Well, 3 lifting surfaces. Most aircraft have one main wing and a tail. Simple, proven for over a century. The Avanti has a small wing at the front called a canard, a main wing in the middle, and a horizontal stabilizer at the tail. All 3 generate lift simultaneously. Here's why this matters. In most aircraft, the tail actually pushes down to balance the plane. That's right, the horizontal stabilizer creates downforce, which is wasted energy fighting against the wing. Think about it, you have a massive wing lifting the plane and a tail pushing down just to keep the nose from pitching up. It's like running with one person pushing you forward and another person holding you back. The Avanti solves this with pure genius. That front canard pulls the nose up, the main wing does the heavy lifting, the tail makes only small adjustments, not fighting against the other surfaces. All 3 contribute positive lift. The result? The Avanti needs a smaller main wing than the conventional designs. A smaller wing means less drag. Less drag means the jet-like speed on the turboprop power. It's like a rowing team where everyone rows forward instead of some rowing backwards to balance the boat. But here's where it gets brilliant. The pusher configuration freed the designers to place the main wing wherever it was aerodynamically optimal. They put it farther back, creating more cabin space ahead of the wing. The passengers sit in the quiet area, not over the noisy engines. During the takeoff, the canard generates significant lift for the quick rotation. During the cruise, all 3 surfaces optimize for the minimum drag. During the landing, the canard increases the drag to help slow down without the massive spoilers. 3 different tools, each perfect for the different flight phases. Most aircraft compromise. The Avanti optimizes for everything. Would you choose efficiency over simplicity if you were designing an aircraft? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk about something that seems completely backwards. The Avanti has a fuselage shaped like a jet, not like a turboprop. Look at any conventional turboprop, the King Air, the Cessna Caravan. They all have relatively short, fat fuselages because they need to fit the engines and the propellers up front. The Avanti looks completely different. Long, slender, streamlined, like someone took a business jet and stuck the propellers on it. That's not an accident, that's brilliant engineering. The Avanti's fuselage shape is called a high fineness ratio design. Most turboprops have a fineness ratio around 6 to 8. The Avanti's is closer to 12 to 13. That's pure jet territory. Why does this matter? At the high speeds, a long, skinny fuselage creates dramatically less drag than a short, fat one. Think of swimming. To swim fast, you stretch out long and streamlined, not ball up into a sphere. The same principle applies to the aircraft. The Avanti's fuselage allows the air to flow smoothly along its entire length, creating the laminar flow over the large portions. Most aircraft only achieve laminar flow over the small areas. The Avanti achieves it over much more of the fuselage. The result? A drag coefficient similar to the small jets, despite being a turboprop. Here's the clever part. The pusher configuration makes this possible. With the tractor propellers up front, you need a blunt nose to mount the engines, ruining the fineness ratio. With the pushers, you get a pointed, streamlined nose like a jet. The entire fuselage optimizes purely for the low drag without compromising for the propellers. This is why the Avanti cruises at 460 miles per hour. The jet-like fuselage creates the jet-like drag characteristics. Combined with the efficient pushers and the 3 surface wings, you get the turboprop costs with the jet performance. Do you think the aircraft designers prioritize speed or efficiency? Drop your answer below. If this design is so brilliant, why aren't there dozens of aircraft using it? Because the pusher propellers have one massive problem: propeller strikes. In the conventional configurations, the propellers are way out in the front, several feet above the ground. In the Avanti's pusher setup, the propellers are mounted on the wings, much closer to the ground. During the takeoff, as the nose comes up, the tail goes down. If the tail goes down too much, the propellers strike the runway. This is catastrophic. The broken blades can slice through the fuselage. The imbalance can rip the engines off their mounts. Piaggio designed the elaborate protections. The Avanti has a tail skid that contacts the runway before the propellers do. It has the cockpit warnings if the pitch angle gets too high. The pilots need careful training about the proper rotation technique. You can't yank back on the stick like in the other aircraft. The same risk exists during the landing. Touchdown too nose high and the tail and the propellers hit before the main wheels. There's another issue: foreign object damage. If the wings or the engine shed ice or debris, it gets sucked into the propellers behind them. The propellers eat the wake of the entire front of the aircraft. The maintenance is also harder. Those pusher propellers stick out behind the wings. You need the special stands to access them, unlike the tractor props you can walk up to from the ground. All these factors add complexity and risk compared to the conventional configurations. That's why most manufacturers stick with the tractor propellers despite the aerodynamic advantages of the pushers. The practical disadvantages outweigh the performance gains for most missions. The Avanti works because Piaggio designed the entire aircraft around managing these challenges, but it requires more careful operation than the conventional turboprops. Are the performance gains worth the added complexity? Share your take below. Let me show you how the Avanti performs in the real operations. Speed. The Avanti Evo cruises at 463 miles per hour. A King Air 350 cruises at 360 miles per hour. The Avanti is 30% faster. New York to Miami takes 4.5 hours on a King Air, under 3 hours on an Avanti. That's massive for the business passengers. Altitude. The Avanti cruises at 41,000 feet. Most turboprops top out at 25,000 to 30,000 feet. Flying higher means the smoother air and better efficiency. Fuel burn. The Avanti burns 90 to 100 gallons per hour. A comparable jet like the Citation CJ3 burns 150 to 165 gallons per hour. On a 2-hour flight, that's 110 to 130 gallons saved. At $6 per gallon, that's $660 to $780 per flight. Multiply by 300 flights per year, and you save $200,000 to $300,000 annually. Operating costs. The Avanti costs $1,600 to $1,800 per flight hour. The comparable jets cost $2,200 to $2,500. That's $600 to $900 saved per hour. For the operators flying 400 hours yearly, that's $240,000 to $360,000 in the annual savings. Cabin. The cabin is quieter than many jets at 68 to 72 decibels. You can have the normal conversations. The cabin altitude at the cruise is about 6,000 feet, better than most jets. The air ambulance operators love these numbers. The speed means reaching the patients faster. The low costs mean keeping the aircraft on standby. The corporate operators get the jet-like productivity at the turboprop prices. The real-world results prove that Piaggio's unconventional engineering works exactly as designed. So here we are, the Piaggio Avanti, the aircraft that looks backwards but thinks forwards. The pusher propeller is more efficient than the conventional ones at the high speed. The 3 lifting surfaces generating more lift with less drag. A jet-like fuselage slicing through the air with the minimal resistance. The engineering that seems insane until you understand the aerodynamics. The result? A turboprop flying at the jet speeds while burning 40% less fuel than the comparable jets. An aircraft occupying a unique sweet spot no other aircraft can match. The Avanti proves something profound. Sometimes the best solutions look wrong at the first glance. Sometimes you must break the rules to achieve something special. Sometimes backwards is actually forward. Final question, if you were designing an aircraft today, would you have the courage to break the conventional rules like Piaggio did? Or play it safe with the proven designs? Drop your answer in the comments. I want to know if you're a rule breaker or a rule follower in the engineering. If this deep dive fascinated you, subscribe to Skyline Secrets immediately. We're uncovering the engineering genius, the aerodynamic secrets, and the unconventional designs the mainstream channels never explain. Hit that subscribe button, smash the notification bell. Next week, why does the Boeing 737 have those weird flat-bottomed engines? The engineering compromise that defined an entire aircraft family. See you in the next investigation.